Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Yeshaya coming back at you again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shib Shah, Bahashem Chakwadash. And before I get started, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Chakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the millstone who rule well. And salutation to all you Akim out there pushing his word with sincerity and truth. To you I say shalom. Shalakia, hold on. Bear with me for a minute. I got this video pulled up. It says, Ukraine president, it says, if peace talks with Putin fail, world is looking at World War III. I'm going to go ahead and play it. And I got another video queued up, and we'll get to that next. And after that, we're going to get some scriptures.
Evening, I'm Jessica Moore. We begin with the latest on the war in Ukraine. Nearly 1 month into the fighting, Russia is stepping up its attacks on civilians, and the humanitarian crisis is quickly escalating. In an address today, President Zelensky said if peace talks with President Putin fail, it would mean World War III. As bombs burst, gunfire rings out in the once peaceful streets of Ukraine, and Russian forces ramp up their attacks on civilian targets. Anguish in the besieged city of Mariupol, where Russian forces bombed an art school with 400 people hiding inside a basement. A bruised and bandaged mother describes how she saved her 1-month-old baby when Russian shelling hit their home.
I was wounded in the head and blood started flowing, and it all flowed on the baby, and I couldn't understand. I thought it was her blood. Dmytro was taking the baby away. I'm screaming that she is covered all in glass, all in blood. He tells me, Olga, it's your blood, it's not hers. And in the morning, I woke up to feed the baby again. I gave her a bath, and I just sat down to feed her, and I cover her with a blanket so she's warm too. And that's what kept the baby alive.
The refugee crisis has become an endless revolving door of despair, with more than 3.2 million Ukrainians fleeing to nearby countries. Tetiana Andreeva and her 2 young daughters have finally arrived in Poland after a daunting journey to safety. I tried protecting my children, she says. I am not giving them all the information I have. Surrogate-born babies in Ukraine are now trapped by the war. Many of their parents are international and unable to come bring them home. The nannies entrusted with their care cannot leave. They are committed to the biggest responsibility of caring for the tiniest Ukrainians. Sanctions don't appear to be enough to...
But they're putting this on the news, to play on the heartstrings of Americans. And this is really all propaganda, man. But let me just continue.
Which confirmed Saturday it had used another hypersonic missile. U.S. intelligence...
You see Russia showing out with their hypersonic missiles. Those are missiles that can fly at 7,000 miles an hour plus. I believe... I think it's faster than sound, I believe. Not sure how fast that is, but yeah, it's faster than sound, hypersonic. I heard that one of these missiles, they can reach America in an hour. Hey, so Russia, man, they got the advanced technology, man.
Say the move marks a major escalation in the war.
He's not been able to achieve the goals as rapidly that he wants to achieve, as rapidly as he wants to achieve them. And so he's resorting to types of tactics that we see on display every day. And again, this is really disgusting.
Putin is not changing his behavior. It's quite different. He's actually turning to terror and doing what the war criminals do, not what the armed forces are doing. So it's a clear message to all the civilized world that we have to step up too.
Today, President Zelensky said he's ready to negotiate with Putin and issued a grave warning about the consequences if those talks fail.
We're losing people on a daily basis, innocent people on the ground. Russian forces have come to exterminate us, to kill us. If these attempts fail, that would mean that this is a third world war.
President Biden will.
Okay, so that's on the table, man. It's on their minds. A third world war, right? Now let me get this one. This guy, Tucker Carlson.
Most Americans deeply sympathize with the people of Ukraine. They got invaded. Who wouldn't sympathize with them? So our Congress and our executive branch have been busy shoveling armaments to the government of Ukraine. And again, no one's questioning anyone's motives here. But if you're going to accelerate a conflict in Eastern Europe, you have to wonder what the consequences might be. What would it mean if the United States was sucked into a war with Russia? Well, that's one of the questions we asked the other day to Congresswoman Maria Salazar of Florida. She's the one who refused to rule out imposing a no-fly zone over Ukraine. In fact, called for it. Watch.
My position is that we should not take the no-fly zone off the table. But before that, that's two. We need to do one. And one is to give Zelensky exactly what he's asking for. No troops on the ground. Let's give him the MiGs and the S-300s, what he needs to defend his own airspace. So he will create his own no-fly zone.
So if you're starting to get the impression that the people formulating our foreign policy have no freaking clue what they're talking about and haven't thought past, say, tonight in the implications of what they're recommending, you may be onto something. There are a lot of deeply ignorant, reckless people, even some of them motivated by perfectly noble impulses, who are running things. So now may be the time to pause and ask, what would it mean to enter into a hot war with Russia? Brian Dean Wright is a former CIA operations officer. He's thought a lot about that. He joins us tonight. Brian, thanks so much for coming on. So this is one of those questions. I mean, look, I think the public has a right to determine what it thinks of this and make that decision on the basis of all available facts. So I'd just be interested in asking what you think. How close are we to an open war with Russia, and what would that mean for the United States?
Great questions. It gets worse every day. The possibility of a hot war are real and getting more real every day. Look, what I'm asking Americans to do tonight is put aside their hatred for Putin or Zelensky, for that matter, or Ukraine or Russia. Put all that aside for a moment. Understand that we have, in effect, declared war against Russia. We have done three things. One, we have crippled their economy, right? Two, we are shoving in all these weapons. And third, this hasn't gotten a lot of press. We are giving tactical intelligence to the Ukrainian government to put an X on the forehead of a Russian soldier and Russian equipment. Let me say that a little differently. Our spies and our satellites are helping the Ukrainians kill Russians. So we have to...
You see, so America is they're really running a proxy war right now. It's an indirect war with Russia. You know, they're giving Ukraine financial backing by giving them some war equipment and with tanks, guns, you know what I'm saying? And then also helping them, having the CIA helping them with information, you know, on how to attack. And pretty much the United States is involved in this already. You know, they're already, like I said, they try to cripple Russia's financial system. So really, I mean, the United States is in the war. I mean, it hasn't been declared yet, but, you know, if Putin wants to, he can go ahead and say, hey, you know, you're in this now.
So we should be asking, shouldn't we, what's that war going to look like, to your point? And indeed, we should start with the first place of, well, who's actually putting together our war response? Well, we know that the folks at the Pentagon are the ones who are primarily responsible for that. But actually, wait a second. They just got us out of a 20-year war, didn't they? Or actually, they kept us in one, and we lost it.
Yeah.
To goat herders, okay? Now we have folks on Capitol Hill and in the White House who were also around for 20 years, and they were the ones who were formulating the policies that also lost that war. So the people who are now formulating our response to a nuclear-armed Russia are the same ones who couldn't figure out how to beat goat herders in Afghanistan. that should cause everyone a very real degree of concern, and we should be asking each other about it, and we should be talking about it. So then the second question becomes, if in fact this gets hot, what happens? We know.
See, and this guy was a former CIA ops officer. So he done some grimy shit too. But this shows you the spirit of the people, these Americans. You know, they don't trust America no more. Americans don't trust America no more. You know, you got the few brainwashed dummies out there that still believe in America, but there's a division between Americans. You know, those that are still sided, die hard with America, and those that are, you know, starting to realize, hey, you know, something's going on, man. Can't trust these motherfuckers no more. Which eventually is going to cause to, you know, the society collapsing, man. Riots that will soon come to pass. Because if Russia does start striking, because, you know, it's been in the news, you know, even what's his name, Joe Biden said it, that Russia might send out some cyber attacks. If they do shut down our water, our lights, hey, there's gonna be riots, man. Like I said, a lot of Americans, they don't trust in their own government. And if you don't have water, if you don't have electricity, and you need to survive on water, they're gonna go crazy. So let me finish off this video real quick.
It will escalate, and so that means that some of the first steps will be what are called asymmetric, right? Russia can't sanction our economy in the way that we did his, so he's going to do things like a cyber attack. I want people to ask themselves tonight, what if in their hometown, Russia were to shut off the lights or the water? Do you think there might be
Okay, there he goes. Yeah, he's talking about it too.
riots? Probably. You brought forward this very horrific idea and notion tonight in Brooklyn and other places of bread lines. Think that could get violent? Of course it could. So how would people's mayors and governors respond to riots? We saw it a couple years ago. Does that give you pause? Seeing the BLM riots? That should also give you pause. So we have a whole variety of issues about then the sacrifice that will go on. That's a whole different segment, but it involves young people dying. And we should also be talking about that because our people in Washington aren't going to be the ones sacrificing.
Oh yeah, people are gonna die. Everything goes dark, man. People are gonna die. People are gonna lose their minds. People are gonna start panicking. And when people panic, man, when people lose their minds, all sense of generosity, all sense of care flies out the window, man. You know, it's gonna be kill or be killed out here. And if you ain't got this truth, if you ain't got this, if you ain't got the eyes out to see this, if the Most High isn't dealing with you, you're gonna be in complete darkness out here. You're gonna be left hanging out here. All right? I think got a little bit more. Let me see.
But they are the ones who feel virtuous by doing all of this stuff and damn the consequences. I see a pattern, a recurring theme here, and I'm just grateful for the clarity you provided. Brian Dean Wright, I hope you'll come back. Thank you.
You bet.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here.
Okay, that was it. Okay, let me get some scriptures. Let me get Revelation. Go to 14. You know, but like this video's been like these videos have been talking about World War III. You know, the possibility of America going to war with Russia, which If that happens, it will spark a world war. Because if America goes in it, all of its allies are going to have to go in it too. And once America goes in it, hey, Russia's allies are going to have to go into it. And Russia's prepared to go all the way. You know, Russia is starting to feel bold now. They see in America stumbling, America slipping, right? Let me get this. This is Revelation 11 and 14. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. You know, the second woe, that's World War II. And woe means destruction, death, right? So that second world war is past. It says, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly, a third world war. Now let me get Zephaniah 3 and 8. It says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation. So that's the Most High's determination, man. To assemble the nations together to battle for that great day. You know, that great day that Yahweh shall return and destroy these nations, right? It says that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, and that's that indignation. It says, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Yep. And that fire is gonna come by through nuclear missiles and them lasers coming out them chariots. So World War III is inevitable, man. This is it might not happen in this right now. It might not happen soon. I mean, it might not happen the next week. It might not happen during this time period of Ukraine versus Russia, because we still got, you know, the Karagma that has to be set up, and that has to be pushed, and that has to be mandated. And but we see in the steady gradual that gradual process of it becoming a mandatory thing. You know, things going digital, going cashless. You know, you got this whole metaverse thing going on. And then you got the NFTs. You know, all kinds of digital currency just so you can live in the metaverse. So Esau is slowly starting to build up his system, and people are accepting it. We're seeing that, man. People are accepting this, man. And the more the people accept it, the more this becomes more of a normality to people. The more easier it is for this damn devil to push his agenda. Because a lot of information is coming out, and yet no one is stepping up against this, showing you how people are so dumbed down and so weak-natured to where they won't question anything now. They just want things to go back to normal. They just want peace. They just want to go back to doing what they were doing. You've seen it with the whole C-19, how people just went and took the venom just so things could go back to normal. Like some of them, it's not that they had faith in the in the thing in the venom to cure them or to heal them. It was just for them to go back to doing what they were doing, going back to the gym, going back to the movie theaters, going back to eating dinner at their favorite restaurant. Showing you the mindset of these people, man. They're through. America's through, and so are these other uh, um, westernized countries. England, Great Britain. You got, what's it called over there in Switzerland or Sweden. Pretty much everybody there already got the mark. A lot of these countries, like especially China, they're going cashless. They got some cashless cities, which it'll be easy to implement the mark there. But then how are you going to function? Once things go cashless, they can easily force the MARK. Because then there'll be no means of currency if you can't access your bank. There'll be no way for you to do any transactions if you have like it says in the scriptures, buy or sell. No, let me continue on. Let me get Joel 3. Joel 3 verse 2, it says, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. So this is exactly what we just read in Zephaniah 3 and 8. How the Most High is going to gather these nations together, man. Gathering up to battle. All right? And it says, I'm going to plead them there, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Right, because all these nations, man, they took part in destroying our people, putting us in captivity, and continually keeping us down, continually oppressing us. And that's why the Most High is going to gather them up, to punish them. The Most High is going to take vengeance upon them. Right? But everything's got a time period, man. Just because the news, you start seeing a lot of World War III news, a lot of World War III propaganda, doesn't mean it's going to happen right then and there. There's some prophecies that got to be fulfilled first. It's all in the Most High's time. Let me go to Ecclesiastes 3 and 1. It says, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and we're in that time, man. Right now is the time of killing. It's killing season out here, especially over there in Ukraine. And like I said, and this is just a rumor war. What is a war? There's a war going on over there. But this whole United States versus Russia, World War III. That's all rumor of war, which are things that were prophesied about. Actually, let me get that first. We'll jump back to Ecclesiastes 3. It's let me get Matthew. What was it? I think it's Matthew 26. Let's see. Oh no, I think it's 24. Okay, yeah, right here. Matthew 24:6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." So you see, all these things hasn't happened yet, but it's going to come to happen. World War III is not yet, like it says, but the end is not yet. And we know World War III is going to be the war to end all wars, because that's whenever Yahweh Shai is going to arrive and deliver us, deliver His elect, and destroy America and this whole system. But it says, but yeah, that's pretty much it on that. Let me go back. What was that? Okay. Ecclesiastes 3:3, it says, "A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose." Hey, and we're approaching that time where we're going to get the kingdom. We're approaching that time where we're about to get everything. We're about to inherit the whole earth and everything with it, and hey, even space. Under Yahweh Shah. This is in the time to lose. And Esau, man, y'all about to lose everything. Everything. Your kingdom is crumbling. You can see it crumbling. That's why you see Esau trying to be hasty, man. They're trying to further their agenda as quickly as they can. See, in the past 2 or 3 years, man, you're seeing things, ramp up more and more and more. Because they know that they have a short time, man. They're trying to upset prophecy, man, but hey, that ain't gonna happen. So go ahead and come out with all the things you got to come out with. We know you're gonna bring out the chip, the charagma. Go ahead and bring it out. Why you pussyfooting around? The faster you get things moving, hey, or bring things out, the faster we're gonna get out of here. The faster your downfall. So anyway, it says, "A time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace." And when we're approaching that time of war, man. I mean, we're in a war right now. And us brothers, man, we're in a spiritual war. Especially right now, we're in the time of the Pesach. Hey, this is a spiritual time period, man. This is a heavy week. So us being more connected with the Most High is a must. especially seeing all these things unfold the way they've been unfolding, hey, we know that the time is near, man. And in our generation, we're going to see the end. Now let me go to, what was it? Habakkuk 2. I'm going to start at 3. It says, For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So World War III is something that will come. It will come to pass in the Most High's time. It's not going to tarry. We're almost here anyway. We're here. It's not going to take that long, man. We're at the end of this. We're at the brink of World War III. You know, we still got other things that got to happen, man. The famine, everything, society collapsing has to happen. You know, the charagma has to come out and be pushed, or has to be mandated, forced upon the public. And like I said, man, there's a lot of things out on the web right now that you can look up of how they're trying to incentivize digital currency to be onto people. I believe one of the brothers posted up a video of Jamaica. You know, they have their own digital currency, and I think they're giving away like $2,500, I think, to those who are some of the first to get on that. You know, an incentive to get on that. And of course, Jake is gonna hop right on it, man. Same thing as here in America. I mean, you got a lot of Jake, a lot of pretty much everybody, you know, joining this whole crypto thing. You know, building up their portfolios and shit, not knowing that it's all controlled from the government. It's all the government's doing. You know, and eventually you're gonna have to take the charagma in order to use that money that you have stored up in that thing. So if you those who know who invest their money in that, who have millions of dollars stored up in there, of course they're gonna take the charagma. Why wouldn't they? They have received their reward on this side, in this life. You're going to take the charagma and they're going to be put to death, man. When your Yahushua comes back, they're going to be burned. Our riches are in heaven. Our focus should be on the Most High, on salvation. Why side with the devil and die alongside of him when you can receive salvation? Right? But anyway, I just wanted to bring out this scripture to show that, hey, the time is coming, man. We're in this time period, man. And the time is approaching of World War III, the charagma being pushed, famine, great death, all that is approaching. Jacob's trouble is approaching, man. Let me get second Esdras, you know, because we got next, you know, just to bring that out. After this whole society collapses, after, you know, the go to World War III, Yahushua comes back and destroys America. You know, out of all the out of the ashes out of the ashes, y'all Edomites ain't gonna rise back up. You ain't gonna be like the phoenix coming up out of the ashes and rebuilding and shit again. Nah, we got next, right? This is Second Ezra 6, and I could just read this, but I'm gonna read right here. Verse 7, it says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall the end, or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Yeah, so we got next. Moab, you ain't got next. Russia ain't got next, and Russia's Esau, so you definitely ain't next. Ham ain't next. Ishmael, you ain't next. Elam, you ain't next. It says Jacob is next. Israel is next. Once Esau goes down, Jacob is gonna be next. Israel is gonna have dominion over the earth, and we ain't gonna let it go. It's gonna last forever. It's gonna be an eternal kingdom, and we're gonna rule with righteousness, man. The opposite of what Esau's been ruling in. Pure wickedness. The whole time Esau's been dealing with everybody like they were at war, like if he was at war with everybody, dealing with deception. Everywhere you go, man, you see a bunch of bullshit, man. Shit that vexes your spirit. From going to work, from just even going down to the grocery store, man, trying to get something to eat. Or pick up groceries, get some juice, get some water. Everywhere you go, man, there's always something vexing, man. Even when you're driving down the road, man, you have some impatient motherfucker behind you. Go to work, have to deal with Esau's ass. Having to come home and having to deal with just everyday bullshit, man. Having to wake up in the morning early as hell, having to go into work. So we want this shit to go down. We're tired of living here. War 3 is gonna come. We know that. But we know things have to take place before that comes to pass. So anyway, I hope this was edifying. I'm gonna close it out by saying Kahalayim La Alahayana wa Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Bahashim Chakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutation to the Akim out there pushing his word with sincerity and truth. Until next time, I'm gonna say Shalom.